This is a fascinating boat. It is a Canados 18. This was built in Italy back in the early 90s, 1991 in fact. And it's a really interesting boat because it's a real classic motor yacht. I'm quite keen to show you on board of this one. Now, when this boat was actually first built, it's the smallest boat that Canados ever made. They were very much into the larger motor yacht style, so this has got a very serious motor yacht vibe running through it. It really feels like a quality item. And what happened with it was that Canados, after they'd actually built this one, went out of business. The company then got sold, and this boat was part completed, and it was eventually bought by a Swiss gentleman who was a high quality furniture and cabinet maker. So he got two of his best guys to come and fit this out in American cherry, and then he took delivery of it. So it's quite an interesting boat all round. So this is going to be the full tour, of course. We're going to go inside, outside, engine room, the lot. And this one I'm very keen to show you because I think this is a huge amount of very stylish Italian boat for the money. So we're going to start on the interior, and this is what I mean about this woodwork. As I say, it's American cherry, but the quality of the finish, if I just show you here, for example, the way it's done with this marquetry, it's absolutely amazing. It's all original. It's never been touched other than cleaned and polished. It looks fantastic. And this is a big saloon area as we're coming through the doors. And I mentioned that this is a high quality motor yacht style. If you look at the stainless steel work that's gone into these doors, you can see what I mean. And then we're going to head on through and, as usual, show you the whole boat. So there's a couple of steps up. This brings you up to the galley and the dinette area. And the dinette you can see over here. We'll look at the galley first of all. Now this boat's had quite a few upgrades through its life. For example, all this cooking equipment here is new. There's a new fridge on it. On the outside of the boat it's had some solid teak decks put on to replace the original teak and ply. In fact, what I'll do is I will link to the broker's description because it's worth having a look. It's quite an interesting history. So galley area, as you can see, this is all drawers in places like this and storage. And what's nice is you've got a great view out of here. We're in Southampton at the moment, and this window drops. Again, you can see the quality of all the stainless steel work around the place. You've got to bear in mind, of course, this boat is nearly 30 years old, so it's very much of its time. But actually, I think its time is rather nice. I think it works well. Side access door, we will go through that in a minute when we've finished on the lower deck. I'll show you around the outside. But up here, ahead of the galley, we've got the helm position. Again, I love the Italian styling with these throttle levers, sort of things you find on reavers and that kind of boat. This one's got separate gears and throttles, so this is forward, neutral, reverse on this side, and throttles from tick over up to maximum throttle is on this side. And then very period instrumentation, so that's the original radar it would have had back in the day, and the original navigation kit. Not actually in use that, because of course it's all been upgraded since, but it's still there, and I think it's rather a nice touch. Let's head on down, and I'll show you the lower deck. So you've got this nice sweep of stairway that brings you down, and then the master cabin is this one up here in the front. So we're up at the bow of the boat now. You can see obviously the way the sides come in. There's opening windows in here. This boat does have air conditioning as well. In fact, it originated down in the Mediterranean. It's now in the UK. But a big cabin, and over on this side, this is its ensuite. Really good size, actually. And there's a separate shower stall. That's a rotating screen just down there. In case you're wondering why it's got two toilets, it hasn't. That one's a bidet. On the other side, these are the air conditioning controls and the outlets for that. And this is a large sort of walk-in wardrobe, dressing room sort of thing. Excellent. Let's go back a little bit further. So these steps bring us down a little lower again into the boat. In here, that is the day heads. And again, you've got that rotating shower screen. And that also services two cabins further back down the boat. So on this side, this is your main guest cabin. There's big opening windows again, which is nice. And in fact, what this has is a doorway through, so that it can be used en suite to this cabin, which is a nice touch. And you've got wardrobes in here and that kind of thing, all illuminated. But again, it's that quality of woodwork, it just looks stunning. Very nice. And we head over to this side. This is just a small single berth, so you might use this perhaps for a skipper if you're taking one with you. And this owner has put this in, which is sort of like a pipe cot, so you can bring that out. So if you've got kids in here, you can sleep. A couple of kids, no problem. And then there's a wardrobe for this one in here. And also down this level, this is just a huge storage locker. It can be a hanging locker, or it's just somewhere to keep all your bits and pieces there. This one keeps all his maintenance equipment in here. Excellent. Let's head on round, take a look at the outside and the Flybridge. This is lovely when you come here. Imagine coming up in the morning for a bit of breakfast and you've got the galley right opposite. That works really well. And of course the saloon where we came in is behind, but we're going to head out through this door. Now again, you can see the kind of engineering that's on this boat. If you look at the hinges that are on this, there's some serious metalwork going on here, all in stainless steel. Very nice. Let's head out. And again, you've got that motor yacht feel with these really thick rails and these deep bulwarks as you come out onto the deck. And I mentioned the teak decking. As I say, this is all replaced, and it's proper thick teak all the way down rather than thin teak on ply. Up here, again, that motor yacht feel with the way that they've done this. This is your anchor winch. Of course, anchor winches back in the 90s were not quite as small and modern as they are now, but nonetheless, there it is to do the job. Then you've got sunbathing up on the front. That looks really nice, doesn't it, when you look back from here? As I say, there's a real motor yacht feel to this boat. Let's go on back a bit further. These are storage lockers in underneath here. So he's got ropes and that kind of thing tucked away. And then we'll head on down the outside. Again, that sort of motor yacht feel with these overhangs. Excellent. Back to the cockpit. Now, back in the early 90s, it was ladders rather than stairs to the Flybridge, but it's canted back at quite an angle, so it's an easy one to use. And up here is the Flybridge. Now, this is pretty much left for open freestanding furniture. So this owner's put this on here. You could obviously put whatever you like on this level. There's a radar arch up above. That's the satellite dome, and you've got radar, loud hailer, TV aerial, and that kind of stuff. And up ahead, you've got your exterior helm position. So big seat here, which can face either way, of course. And again, it just all feels so period. It is right out of the sort of late 80s, early 90s. It's fantastic. This is just a support for the canopy. There was a canopy over this, which they very kindly removed for me. So in case you're wondering what that is, that's what that does. And then this is all your instrumentation down underneath here. But it is real step back in time stuff, isn't it? Look at that view out over the front. Brilliant. Let's go and have a look at the engines. Again, you can see the quality of the stainless steel work. All this kind of stuff here, and then these thick rails around the back. It's fantastic. Okay, let's head on down. And we're going to have a look in the engine room. So I shall collect my shoes. And the engines are accessed back here. That locks into place. Best not to hang on to these, of course, so the rail just there. And down we go. So there's a big storage area is the first thing that we come to. That's actually a water maker on the back. That's apparently never been used. That probably needs recommissioning, but nonetheless, there it is. Fire extinguishing system is on that side. You can see the spare propellers here as well. And then ahead of this, there's a big lazarette area. It's actually got twin generators on here. So there's this one, and then there's a larger one Over on this side, again, it's that sort of motor yacht feel to it, where everything's specced up. That's the hot water cylinder, so really good size. And again, you can see some of the refurbishments that have been done in things like, it's got the latest battery management systems and chargers, and it's got new batteries in it, and so forth. And the engines themselves, well, they are up in here. Now these are a pair of MAN D2848 LXE engines. They're 820 horsepower each, and they're giving the boat a top speed of around 22 knots. And you would cruise at around 17. And that would give you a range of about 250 to 300 miles. Obviously that's at that sort of speed. If you drop the speed right back to displacement speeds, you'll get a lot further. Look at the way they've put these gauges on here, so that when people are maintaining the engines, they can run them up and check everything. So there's a rev counter in the centre there, for example, and the same on the other side. These are heat shields on the exhaust. The reason these are a different colour, because these were done at one stage and then these were done at a later date, and of course they're a different colour, but obviously everything underneath is exactly the same. And if we head on through, you can see the engines proper. Big MANs. Fuel filters up here on the front. Very nice. Very nice. Cool. Let's head on back out of here. And we'll head back up onto the deck. And we'll finish up, I think, back in this lovely saloon. So that's it. Canados 18 metre, she's just over 60 feet long, and I think a real classic. Hope you enjoyed that, something a little bit different on Aquaholic for you. Let me know what you think of it in the comments, and if you've not subscribed, do hit that subscribe button and little bell. We've got loads more coming. We look forward to catching you on the next one. Take care. Bye bye.